Okay, kids. So I'm sorry that I am not in school today. I just blame Magdalena. I blame Magdalena. Okay, so today we're going to be learning about participles. So you can see here that the learning goal is students will identify the syntax of nouns and adjectives via their case endings. So this kind of falls under the category of understanding nouns and how they work in the sentences. The thing about participles, though, is that participles are not just adjectives. Participles are verbal adjectives. So the learning target for you guys, what I want you guys to be able to say at the end of our several lessons of practice on this is I can recognize participles in a sentence in Latin. So participles are words that end in English in ing. They're also known as verbal adjectives. Now, how can something be a verb and an adjective at the same time? Well, make sure you take these notes on your paper. First of all, you'll have the root of a verb, okay? And to that you will add in English ing, and it will function as an adjective. So let me give you an example. I see the dancing dog. So in this sentence, what we see here is the word dancing is our participle. Oh, made the whole thing bold, so let's just not do that. Okay, so dancing is our participle. How do I know dancing is a participle? Well, two things. First of all, it has the root of a verb. The word dance is a verb, right? So dance is a verb. Dance shows us that something is happening, it's an action. But if we look at how dancing works in this sentence, dancing is working to describe a noun. A word that describes a noun is an adjective. So, what this enables us to do is it enables us to show that there are two simultaneous actions happening in this sentence. The dog is dancing, and I see a dog. So, dancing here comes from the root of a verb, to dance, and it functions as an adjective. It describes dog. It's the same in Latin. In Latin, words will have the root of a verb, but the ending will match some noun in the sentence, and it will describe that noun. So, what you're going to do now is you're going to look at your paper and you are going to draw. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. You're going to draw a horizontal line, not this atrocity that I just drew. Let's try that again. All right. So, you're going to draw a line down between the present active, and you're going to draw another line between the perfect passive and the future active. Okay, so draw those lines on your paper. And then what you're going to do here, we're going to work on the perfect passive today. So you are going to put Latin. Oh, goodness. You're going to put Latin, and then you're also going to put English. Under Latin, you're going to write fourth principal part. And it takes first or second declension endings. Okay? The English is going to be translated like this. It's perfect tense, so you need the word have. It's a participle, so you need ing. The second word, oh my goodness, the second word is been. And then the third word, when translating the perfect passive participle, is the meaning of the verb itself. So having been blanked. So in a Latin no, don't do that, honey. Sorry, kids. I was talking to my dog. Okay, so in a Latin sentence, the fourth principal part of the verb is always the adjectival part of the verb. So like amatus or missus or delectatus. Okay. One of the things you'll notice with the fourth principal part is that the ending is always going to be a first or second declension ending, and the letter immediately preceding that ending is going to be a T or an S. That's always the case. Okay? Now, that's always the situation, I should say. So if I'm translating this, I could say for amatus, having been loved. Misos, is having been sent. Delectatus, having been delighted. Okay? So those are the notes I want you to take on your paper. Now, I want you to look at the your Google Classroom, and I want you to open the activity for today, which is exercise 33B. What you'll notice in exercise 33B is that you have a series of sentences that you can kernel just like you would kernel any Latin sentence, but each of these also has a participle in it. It has a perfect passive participle. These are very hard to recognize in a Latin sentence in the wild. Okay, so this is going to be difficult even when you know you're looking for it. So as you can imagine, it's even worse when you're just reading Latin and you're just supposed to go, oh, hey, that's a participle. Perfect passive participles are the most common of the participles, and they're the hardest to recognize. So that's really unfortunate, and we are going to practice. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to each choose one of these three sentences to practice. I do not expect this to go smoothly, but I want you to try, okay? So, what are your instructions? So, I want you to take one of the sentences, and I did number one as an example, and I want you to identify the participle. So, if I'm looking at sentence number one, I'm looking for words. It has to have a first or second declension ending, and a T or an S right before it, and the root of the word has to be a verb. So my participle in this sentence is invitati. I know that because to invite is an action, that's a verb. The ending of this is I, which is second declension, and the letter directly before it is the letter T. So this is my participle. Invitati is my participle, and it means having been invited. Okay? Now, secondly, a participle has to describe a noun. That's its job. It's an adjective. Adjectives are only happy when they're describing a noun. So, I need to find a noun that matches invitati. And remember, adjectives match nouns when they're on the same row of the noun chart. Adjectives have to match nouns in case, number, and gender. So, if I'm looking at this sentence, I can see that I have a word that has an ending on the same row of the noun chart. Amici is both nominative, it is plural, and it is masculine. So it matches my participle in case, number, and gender. Finally, I want you to translate the sentence. So the friends, that's my subject. Then I'm going to take my participle because it describes the subject, having been invited to dinner, and then verb, were greeted, salutati sunt, happily, comiter, and then I have an ablative agent here by Cornelius himself. Kids, I know that this is going to be a little tricky, okay? So try not to panic, okay? Just do your best. I want you to pick 3 of the remaining 9 options. Do these different identifications, identify the participle, identify the noun it describes, and translate the sentence. And then we're just going to go over it together when I come back to class. Okay? Please make sure you have submitted your recording of your script on WeVideo so that I can give you feedback. Those of you who have already submitted yours, you know that I have already sent your feedback to you in the form of a voice recording and also some written feedback on WeVideo Classroom. Thank you so much, kids. It's such a relief to me to know I can trust you to work hard and help each other. All right, have a good weekend, kids.